If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be using computer AI to create house facades for projection mapping, I would have told you you were crazy. But it turns out Jeff Ripoletto really broke this open in our community, and he is proving a point, and it is valid. You can literally take artificial intelligence created artwork off of a few keywords and create a real facade onto your house. Let's see how. A couple months ago, Jeff Ripoletto had put out a couple different ideas into a lot of our communities saying about these Halloween facades that he was creating. And this video was from 2 months ago, and he was showing how he could put this on his house and make it look different. And a lot of people really struggle to find those textures or ideas, and this really does simplify it. If you have not already joined Jeff Ripoletto's, and sorry if I'm butchering your last name, if you have not joined Jeff's channel yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click this little notification bell on there as well, because his 1.26 thousand subscribers really should go up. This guy puts a lot of great work in. He creates a lot of awesome shows, and not only that, he shares a lot of free resources, including the Addams Family song with Uncle Fester singing it along, the Disney Halloween Screams with Jack Skellington singing along. He talks about how to separate items out. He does little mini tutorials. He is an awesome, mini tutorial? That's an hour and a half long. He does a lot of awesome work. So make sure you subscribe to him because this guy has a lot of ideas. Today we're going to be looking through two different AI art generators. So let's look at MidJourney. MidJourney, once you go to midjourney.com, you can choose join the beta. If you already have, you can sign in. When you join the beta, you are going to be joining a Discord service. And if you haven't joined or been in a Discord, well, welcome. You're going to be there really soon. So once you get in there and sign up, it's going to drop you into a place that looks like this, where there's lots of pictures, there's names on the one side, this will be moving around, and then there's a bunch of rooms over on this left side, and you might be a little confused of what you need to do, but it's actually pretty simple. So along this side, you really can ignore this entire right column. On the left side, you're going to want to click one of the newcomer rooms. Okay, doesn't matter which one, just click on one of them. And then as you're looking through here, you're going to see tons of artwork that has been generated by its AI already. Now, just full disclaimer, this is a public work, so it could be whatever anybody else is typing in at that point and having it generate. That's all going to be coming up along with yours. So you might see some weird stuff, or you might see some kids frolicking in the wilderness. I mean, it could go many different directions. So what you're going to do, you can scroll all the way down and then go to the bottom. In here, you need to put your backspace in, and then you're going to type in imagine, and then this is going to, there you go. And then this is going to create your command. Then you can hit space, and it's going to ask you for your prompt. This is where you will start typing in things. So my first thing that I'm going to type in is haunted house. I'm going to type in facade, haunted house facade. There we go. I'm going to want to do like a Beetlejuice theme. So Beetlejuice. All right. My next thing I'm going to put is front of house. For sometimes it will show you like a really close-up view. So usually when I put in front of house, I usually get more of the whole house type deal. Next thing I'm going to put is what kind of style do I want? And for Beetlejuice, I want kind of a cartoon style. And one of the things that I like to put is 3D render. And that will just kind of make it more standalone instead of like an artwork piece. So now let's go ahead and go in, and you know what? I'm going to take out Haunted just because after second thinking about it, I think I just want to see what it comes up with, and I'm afraid that the Haunted might kind of overpower the Beetlejuice. So let's see what comes up. All right, I'm hitting return, and you'll see it's showed up here. Up there it goes. So you're going to have to kind of scroll along with it and try to follow along. So taking a look, you can see that this is starting to render. Right now I'm at 12%, and that will keep growing. Now I'm at 31, and this will keep going and going and going, and then once it gets to 100, it's going to shoot all the way back down to the bottom. Alright, it's done, so I'm going to scroll down and take a look. Actually, none of these really do anything for me. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can type in something new if you want. So actually, let's try with a haunted house. So once again, imagine space haunted house facade Beetlejuice. Then I'm going to go to, what else did we put in there? Front of house. And let's put in cartoon, 3D render, and let's see what it comes up with. This one already looks like a full house, which is a step in the right direction. Alright, it's done. Let's take a look at them. Wow. Alright, so now we got the full house, which is pretty awesome. Not crazy Beetlejuicy, but you can still kind of see some of the elements in it. So what you can do now, you can either choose and say like, alright, house number 1 is really good, and I want to really enhance that one. And then you would choose this. And you can do that for any of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when you look at these, here's house 1, here's house 2, here's house 3, here's house 4. And then down here, if you like this, but you want a couple more variants of it, that's what these buttons do down here. So if I'm thinking like this one's like kind of hot on the money, this one, and this one's something interesting too. So I'm going to click variant 2 and variation for 3. And now as you look down here, there are more that are coming. So this one, it started actually really quick. And another one down here. So these are all going to be generating. And then once you get down to something that you really like, wow. So once you get down to something that you really like, and I'm looking for some brighter things because it really helps with the projector, that's when you will pick and choose one to really enhance. Let's see what else they came up with down here. These are fun too. Alright, so many to choose from. So let's take a look. Let's just pick one and show. Let's pick this one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is number 3. So I'm going to go to number 3 and click that, and then that's going to enhance it, and you'll see it will pop up down here. And now I'm upscaling that image. When you're upscaling the image, it's going to be making it clearer, and it's going to add in a lot of other extra details to it. Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying the tutorial so far. There is a lot of time and research that I put into all of these tutorials.
It is great that we have platforms like this that I can help share and spread the knowledge. These tutorials are ad-supported and from donations from generous viewers like you. In an effort to further share the information, give a better experience for the viewers, share files and resources, as well as support the channel monetarily, I created a website and a course. The website houses a lot of information and resources from many great contributors in the projection mapping community. It is updated regularly as new useful resources become available. The course, that's another resource that is continuing to grow. It acts as an organized and ad-free experience. There is exclusive content and resources that are included with the course enrollment. For instance, the media used in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation tutorial series, well, that's in the course, included for free. You just need to click to download. The final platform is the store. In the store, you will find different resources that are available for purchase at reasonable prices. Keep an eye out for coupons and specials, especially during the off-season. All of the funds that are raised are reinvested back into the growth of the channel through purchases of hardware, software, and other things that can be used to create new tutorials, reviews, and demonstrations. There are 2 free things that you can do right now to support the channel. Please like this video and subscribe below. The more likes and followers that we have, the more likely companies are to send loaner or demo resources for us to work with and share on this website, all free for you to access. I thank you for your time and consideration of supporting this channel. Please enjoy the remainder of your free tutorial.
All right, now it's all done. So when you go to MidJourney.com and you log in, so when you go over to the login part, so sign in, it's going to bring you to your profile, which will look like this. And let me refresh mine. So we'll have your name up there, and then we'll have all of the different houses that you have created over time. And each one really does come out a lot different. And to tell you the truth, this Beetlejuice house really knocked it out of the park. I was amazed. And you could see that it came from, well, I can't hover, it came from right in this set of 4. And I really liked it, so I created some new variations, and then I decided that the black variation with the purple windows was the one that I really wanted, so I upscaled that one. So you can move around and you can try to do different things. If you wanted a hyper-realistic house, that's something like these. If you wanted like old haunted houses, you have it right in here. These came out a little weird. I tried to do a Stranger Things, but I totally missed the mark of it. I mean, it got the clouds, but that was about it. But there's some really cool things here. And once you find a house that you really like, and you do have it super enhanced, you're going to click on these 3 dots and go to Save Image. And then you go to the fun part of going over into Photoshop to start cutting it up and putting it on your house. And you can take pieces of this house and maybe pieces of this house that you really like. That's the best part of this. You have a lot of things that you can stitch together. Now, the next one that I'm going to be telling you about is Craiyon. So this one is very similar. You type what you want to see, and then it will pop up. So if I wanted to do like moldy siding, let's see what it comes up with. Alright, so it is all done and it gave me a bunch of different options. Now you can choose on these options. If you want to use any of these, you want to make sure that they are something like this, where it is long and something that's really stitchable that you can go through, or something like this too, that you can kind of work with. Let's see. So let's choose this one. And then it's zoomed in, and you can use it from there. You can save it, right click and save it. And you can see that the quality isn't quite as good as the other one, but when you're putting it up on your house, it does give you a little leeway. Let's see what else we can do. Let's try a haunted house. And let's do 3D render. I don't know, I've never tried this one before, so let's see what it comes up with. All right, so here you go. You have a bunch of different options that you can choose from. Once again, you can click on them and blow them up. It doesn't give you like crazy clarity that you can use compared to the others. So let me show you what the other kind of looks like. So side by side, you can see that there is definitely a clarity difference in them. I'm not sure, maybe I'm missing how to make it clearer, so feel free to correct me if there is a way to make these clear. But that's where I kind of lean towards the MidJourney one. Crayon's a really cool thing for you to use as well, but the MidJourney one seems to give me more consistent images for me to work with. So let's head over to Photoshop and stitch it onto the house. All right, over in Photoshop, I opened a new canvas that is set to the resolution of my projector. I inserted my mapping template in and I locked it just to make sure it wasn't sliding around because you're going to be doing a lot of clicking and moving. So I have my mapping template locked there. And the real reason for that mapping template is as we are stitching things together, I want to make sure I know where it's going to go on the house. So what I'm going to do is I pulled in my Beetlejuice house facade, which I liked and I put together. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to kind of shrink it down a little bit and move it up. And I'm going to create a plan for what I want to do with this house. I really love the striped areas here. And I think that would look good really across the entire bottom of the house, having that striped look to it. So I'm going to do that with mine. I'm going to take the striped area, put it along the bottom, and probably even this little fun warpy siding section. The top part, these windows, I think would look pretty cool going across the top here as well. And I love how this image says Beetlejuice without screaming Beetlejuice. So now that I have my plan, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this layer off. And you have two options. You can either cut and paste and cut here and drag and drop it over. You can do it that way, or what I'd prefer is to have my plan and then open this up by double clicking right there on that picture, and then it will open up in a separate tab, and then I just copy and paste from here. So I'm going to cut and paste, and I would like to get a little bit of this in, so I'm going to cut right underneath the windows, and maybe just a little bit of the grass, a hint of the grass. And then I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to Control C or Command C, or you can right click or go up to edit, it's up to you. And then I'm going to click back to this Beetlejuice tab and I'm going to paste it in. Now I can go to my move tool and I can move this around to fit. And so I'm going to pull this right down here and I'm going to pull from the corner, hold shift to shrink it down so it covers right where that roof line is. I'm looking right here. So right where that roof line is, I want to make sure it covers and goes over just a little. Now this does jut out here, so instead of aligning to that bottom, I have a couple things. I could either align to this bottom and then hold Command and click this selector and drag it over to that corner, and I can warp it to fit. That's an option that I have. Or I can drag this over and then cut it out. And so it's up to you what you want to do. I kind of like the swoopiness of this, So what I am going to do for this one, I'm going to just bring it over so it fully extends over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the opacity of this layer down. So click on layer, go to opacity, slide this down. And the point is because I want to be able to see through the layer to my template. Now I'm going to go down to my mapping template. I will click on that to make sure that's selected. And I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. Now I'm going to click on the outside of this. So you can click on the outside of this. And then you'll see that it selects everything on the outside. That's a nice easy way to go ahead and select where you want to be able to erase. Now when I go to erase, you can see that this is showing me like a no sign. That's because I'm on the mapping template layer. I need to switch back to this one. So I'm going to make my brush a little bigger so I can do just a couple of swipes. And I'm going to slide it around. And now I have, when I go off, now I have it just covering my garage with a little bit of the overlap, but it's not going out into the great abyss there. Now I need to clean up this side. I can do it a couple ways. I can zoom in and go down, and I can select on the outside of here, so I can go back to my mapping template, select in here, I can select that way and then go with the erasing tool. Or another option you can do is select in here and then hold Command Shift and I to select the inverse. When you select the inverse, then when you go to erase, so layer 1, that will erase on the outside as well. So it all depends on how you want to go about it. All right, so now I have this covered, and I'm going to go ahead and just change the opacity up so you can see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. I did want to do the same thing for the bottom over here. So now that I'm over on this side, I'm going to go back over into this tab. It's already selected. I'm just going to hit Command C or Control C, go over to Untitled, and then I'm going to drop it in with pasting or Command V, Control V.
Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying the tutorial so far. There is a lot of time and research that I put into all of these tutorials. It is great that we have platforms like this that I can help share and spread the knowledge. These tutorials are ad supported and from donations from generous viewers like you. In an effort to further share the information, give a better experience for the viewers, share files and resources, as well as support the channel monetarily, I created a website and a course. The website houses a lot of information and resources from many great contributors in the projection mapping community. It is updated regularly as new useful resources become available. The course, that's another resource that is continuing to grow. It acts as an organized and ad-free experience. There is exclusive content and resources that are included with the course enrollment. For instance, the media used in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation tutorial series, well, that's in the course, included for free. You just need to click to download. The final platform is the store. In the store, you will find different resources that are available for purchase at reasonable prices. Keep an eye out for coupons and specials, especially during the off-season. All of the funds that are raised are reinvested back into the growth of the channel through purchases of hardware, software, and other things that can be used to create new tutorials, reviews, and demonstrations. There are 2 free things that you can do right now to support the channel. Please like this video and subscribe below. The more likes and followers that we have, the more likely companies are to send loaner or demo resources for us to work with and share on this website, all free for you to access. I thank you for your time and consideration of supporting this channel. Please enjoy the remainder of your free tutorial.
Now this is where I need to make some decisions here. I want to put it down here, but do I want to do anything with the window and the door? I do, but I'm not sure just yet. And where do I want this to fall? Do I want it to stop underneath, or do I want it up top? And in this case for me, I want it to cover the top. All right. Now, you have a problem here. The problem is that this overextends here. So you can either grab from the side and stretch it out. And with this image, it actually does not look that bad. Or another option you can do is to grab from the corner and make it larger. But then you're risking with the grass and this going up higher than you want. Or you can, I know, so many options. Or you can go ahead and you can use the cloning tool. So you can paste this down. And then you can use the cloning tool. Where are you? Right here. And you can extend out. So let's see, it would be like right here for a white stripe. And then you can kind of add to your tent that way, which is a little dicey, like right there kind of got a little off. So I'm going to just bring this closed, start down here at the bottom, and try to just clean that up. See how I did that? So you can do it a couple different ways. I just showed you 3 different ways, and I'm sure there's probably more. Now, I'm going to make it fit. So I'm going to turn the opacity down just so I can see through it. Click my mapping template and my selector. I'm going to select on the outsides. And this in my house. All right. I think that pretty much covers it. And now I'm going to click my eraser and layer 2, and then go through and do some erasing just around. All right. And then I'm going to turn my opacity back up. And there you go. Now, this might annoy you here that they're going in different directions. Personally, because this part is recessed, this is a porch, it actually will look fine on my house. I don't know how it will look on your house, but it will look fine on my house. All right, let's go to this top area. So I like the top here of these windows. So I'm going to select this top. And you know what? I'm going to get a little bit of this out here because I can always, like I showed you already, clone stamp it in. All right, so I'm going to just grab that, copy, go over to this tab, and paste. And now I'm going to bring these in. All right. Now I'm going to just stretch it to fit my house. And this is another thing that you can do if your house has a bit of a warp to it. Like you can see, this is nice and straight, but this line starts kind of bellying out. So I need to add a little perspective to it. So I'm going to pull this up, and I'm just going to click the corner, hit Command, and hold and pull that up to cover. And then over here, I'm going to stretch this out as well. All right. That actually lines up real nice on this as well, which really was a bonus. So now that I have these done, I'm going to double click off to the side, double click right on it to lock that in. I'm going to go to the opacity, and I want to take a look and see how my lines are and how the windows are. Here it looks a little off. Here it looks actually with the lines, it looks right on. So I need to kind of mess with those a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into Filter, and I'm going to go to Liquify. And now when I'm looking through here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see better. little too far. And you can still see these lines of the windows. So these windows are right on. I'm going to paint a mask. So here's my freeze mask tool. And these areas really look good. So I'm just going to paint this because I don't want to mess with this. And actually, you know what? This looks good as well. And I want to just get the little bottom here because it does work really well with that. Now that I have that frozen, I'm going to go up to my forward warp tool, and it's really big. There you go. And I'm just going to click, and I'm going to slowly pull it over a little bit. And you can see that I'm using the bottom edge of my tool to click and move it over a little bit. And you can now see, it's kind of hard with this tool. Let me see if there's another one that, there you go. You can kind of see that better. You can see that the lines are starting to line up with the windows a lot better. And all I did was kind of twist it over a little bit. So you can go through and you can reconstruct it if you think it looks a little weird in spots. But for the most part, especially with this cartoony house, this is going to look great. So all you need to do is click OK. Now when you look at this, let's turn that off. You can see that my windows are aligning much better up here. All right. One thing that I'm noticing, I don't like how this roof kind of closes in on these sides. I want it to be spread out. So I'm going to go back to my cloning tool. And I'm going to just pick something in here that I can spread it out with. And let's say right there looks nice. And I'm just going to slowly kind of paint my way over. Once you have it kind of painted in that way, so I'm going to hold Option. Sorry, I didn't show you how to use that. When you're in the clone tool, you're going to hold Option to make it a bullseye, and then that is going to show where your source is, and then you can move over from there, and it will go right from your source. So there we go, covering this up over there. Now, if it looks a little funky, one of the things you can do, which is really nice, is you can click on, sorry, I lost it. You can click on the spot healing tool, and you can just kind of draw over a little bit. And what it will do is it will start looking at the rest of your picture, and it will fill in that gap. So that's another thing that you can do to just kind of clean it up if it looks weird in a couple spots. So like right here. Honestly, with this house, where those things are, just knowing my house, it won't make a huge difference. All right, so now what I'm going to do is click on the mapping template, click around the outside just to clear that up. Got ahead of myself. So layer 3, clear this up. Boop. All right, and now turn the opacity up, and boom. I took that one image, which I have still up in that corner there. So I took that one image and I made it fit my house. Honestly, it looks pretty cool. I'm going to think about, do I want to put like a fancy door here? And I could go back over to MidJourney. Then I could go down here, type in imagine space beetle juice door 3D render. Let's see what it comes up with. So here are a couple options of the Beetlejuice store, which looks pretty cool. I did do another one, which I just added Beetlejuice character and then cartoon door, just to see how that would be different. But already, ooh, all right, never mind. That one's looking pretty cool. Let me see what it comes up. Alright, so there it is. I think I'm gonna have to pick this one because that one's really cool too. Alright, I'll pick both of them. So this is number 2, this is number 3. So I'll pick both of these doors. It's making its own bigger version of it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this door. I don't need to go to max just because it's going to be smaller. So I'm going to go back over into my Discord. Here's my door. I'm going to grab that door, save the image. And then I'm going to bring it over into Photoshop. Going to shrink that down, grab the top, hold shift, shrink it down. I can put it on my front door. So where my front door is, I can put it over there. I could put it over where my garage door is. It really depends on how your show is. So let's put it over by the garage door. I'm going to just shrink that down a little bit. Alright, double click it. Let's clean it up. I'll show you how to clean this up quick because you might be doing this in your own house. So I'm going to make sure I'm still on this layer. I'm going to rasterize it by right clicking, go down to rasterize layer. This just makes it workable. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the quick selection tool and then go around the outside of the door. And it's going to do a pretty good job of getting there, but I might need to hold Option and then clean it up. So I'm going to go through, and when you hold Option, it really does make it makes a little minus sign on it, and then whatever you select, it gets rid of. So make my way down that side. Perfect. Just kind of still cleaning it up. So this is usually how I would do it, although even with a little bit of extra finessing, this is still a little off. So if you're finding that it's off, I'll show you one other trick to do it, especially since this is a nice hard shape. You can go over into the lasso tool, click on the bottom, and click your way around the door. And then go back to the bottom to click it. Now you have it selected. Shift Command I to select the inverse, or you could do that up in the edit menu. Hit delete, and there you go. You have your door just hanging out there. Now to really make it pop, embed it into the scene a little bit. So let's take my eraser. Let's carve it around where the roof would be. Kind of that little overflap there. And let's go down into the grass, and let's get rid of it down in the grass a little bit. So I'm going to change my hardness down to let the grass grow in front of it. And that's another quick way that you can add a door in. Obviously, there's other things that I would do to blend it, which would be going in and maybe adding a little shadow to it because it seems like it is really sticking out there. So reset to default, there you go. So I might add a little shadow to it to kind of make it fit in a little bit because this is pretty dark. Maybe add a drop shadow to it to make it seem like it's kind of popped into it a little bit. But this gives you the real general idea of how to take an AI generated facade and copy and paste it to fit to your house. I hope you enjoyed this video. Big prop goes out to Jeff, who really kind of started coining this and bringing this to our attention as far as the community. So really great job, Jeff. And if you have not already followed his channel, make sure you do that. This has been another tutorial, and I hope you learned something new in this video. Maybe got some ideas that you could use in your own projection mapping show. If you would like to learn more about projection mapping using the Adobe Suite and DaVinci Resolve, you can check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, Phillips Projections. You can take my course at holidayprojectionmapping.com or just poke around that constantly updated website. Make sure you like and subscribe to keep yourself updated and to support the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.